Construction Pay Apps, the Create step. In this video, we'll walk through the steps to create a construction pay app for either a new construction or a redevelopment project with Avalon Bay. First, be sure you're utilizing the proper URL, displayed here. Next, enter your credentials exactly as they were provided for you. Both the username and the password are case sensitive. When you're ready, click Sign In. The first time you log in, you'll probably see a few various tabs. The first one is your Home tab. This is where you will find any outstanding tasks awaiting your attention. The next two, Workspace and Avalon Bay, are not needed for submitting a pay app, so I'm going to go ahead and close those. What we will need is the actual Project tab. You can click on this plus and either start typing it if you've never visited this project before, or you'll find it here under your recent locations. Before we submit our pay app, let's make sure the contract has been fully executed. To do this, I'll come down to Contracts and Payments, Commitments, and then Construction Contract. And here we can see our contract and that it has been fully executed. That's great, that means we can bill against it. So we'll come on down to Committed Payments and Construction Pay App. To create a construction pay app, you can click right here on the Create button. Before you do that, you also have the option to come to the Help button to pull up a PDF to give you some additional guidance on completing this process. You can also come right over here to Construction Pay App Help and bring up the written instructions. First, let's get acclimated with the record we're looking at. This is a new construction pay app. Here on the left-hand side, you can see I have Pay Application highlighted. A lot of the details will be filled in here on the left-hand side. And then here on the right-hand side, we have the corresponding attachments, or where you can attach your invoice, any comments that you want to add, and then we don't utilize linked records and linked mail. Let's go ahead and complete this form. Again, we're on the Pay Application tab, and any field that's gray, you're not able to influence. Any field that's white, you are able to influence, and any field with a red asterisk is mandatory. So, for example, this first block of record information has every field gray, which means it will auto-complete later. We can move on down to Contract Information. To pull in your contract, use this Select button. Double-click on your contract record and now you can see it reflected here in the Pay app. The next available field is Certificate of Insurance, and here it says type a vendor name. So you can just start typing your company name and pull it in. Now, if for any reason you don't find a certificate of insurance here under your business name, reach out to your Avalon Bay coordinator. It's possible that your insurance has either expired or it will be expiring within the next 5 business days. You're able to move this record forward without your certificate of insurance, but you won't be able to be paid until we have that in the system. Now that we've pulled in the contract, we can see the original contract amount and any revised contract amount should there have been change orders, as well as some additional information, including balance to complete. We'll use this bar to scroll down. Now, if you have any special payment instructions, you would enter those here. Now we'll move to the next block, Pay App Info. Anytime you see additional guidance written here, especially when it's the first time you've submitted one of these pay apps, be sure to read through the information. For example, here we're told that we'll be adding line items in an additional tab, and then if there are any subtiers to receive joint checks, we need to make sure to include those as well. So we'll move on to the first field and add our invoice number. This needs to be a unique invoice number for this contract. Next, we'll add the invoice date, and you can do this by using the Select Date icon and just double-clicking on the appropriate date. Then we're asked if this is the final payment. And here we can mark that the invoice backup has been attached. Now to attach your backup, you'll come right over here to the right-hand side where the paperclip is. Click the paperclip and then Browse. And you can either click and drag to this area, or you can click Browse again to go find your invoice. Pull the invoice in and click Upload. And now you can see it reflected here. So yes, we have attached our invoice backup. Next, we're asked for work-through date. You're not able to bill in advance. Therefore, for example, this is May 11th. I would not be able to bill through the month of May. All right, let's move on to the next block. Now we're at the vendor lien waiver information block. If for any reason you don't see this block or any of the others, make sure you haven't accidentally collapsed them. Here you can read through the lien waiver process. Avalon Bay requires a conditional lien waiver to be completed for each payment application. Please read through the lien waiver process below to confirm that you have read and understand the process. So you'll read through these portions and then mark that you've read and understand the process. Next we come to the sub-tier lien waiver information block. Again, you'll want to read through the guidance provided for you here and the process itself before responding. The next block is vendor check information. This will be auto-completed once the check is cut. This is all we need to add here under the Pay Application tab, but we still haven't told the system how much you need to get paid. For this, we're going to move on to the Line Items tab. Here on the Line Items tab, click Add. Now what you see is the complete schedule of values for your contract. If you've had any change orders that have been approved, those amounts will be found here as well. As you can see, there's a scheduled value, a balance to complete, percent to complete, and then the amount requested this period. So any of these fields that have a white background and bold text, you're able to influence. You can go into each cell and type in the amount you need to get paid. Now, if there is retainage being held, you can see that automatically take place. If this were your last pay app and you were requesting retainage, you would utilize this column. When you're done entering amounts, and make sure you're utilizing the short description to know which fields to utilize for each, you can click on Save. You can see the amount requested overall for this pay app right here. If you've made any errors, just go back to the field and correct it. If you request an amount that is beyond how much is available in the schedule of values, you'll see this red X, letting you know that you've gone over the scheduled amount. When you're done, click Save. If you do have sub-tier joint checks involved, you can click on the Sub-tier Joint Check tab. To add one, you would click on Add, find your sub-tier name, provide the joint check amount, and whether or not this is the final payment. When you're done entering information, click Send. You can see here that this will submit and be sent to the superintendent for the project. When you're ready, click Send. We can see that this has been created successfully. So you can click OK, and now you're able to find your pay app right here. Using the preview pane, you can see some basic record information, including the status and the workflow progress. Additionally, any attachments. Now, if you were to create a record and then learn that you needed to save it and come back to finish it later, you could start the record and then just save it. Now that you've saved this record, it's not found under Construction Pay App because it has not been submitted. Rather, it'll be found under your drafts. And when you're ready, you can just double-click into the record and continue working with it. It's important to note that you can only have one Construction Pay App in flight at a time. So until this record has reached an end step, meaning it's either been paid, terminated, or canceled, you won't be able to submit another pay app. You are able to go ahead and create them in advance and then save them to your drafts until it's time to send it forward.